Hello everyone and welcome to Otaku Talk. Today we're going to be reviewing chapter 1008 of One Piece. Man, Oda really makes you forgive him when he goes on a break. Because right after, he's like both breaks we've been on this year, like right after he's given us just such phenomenal content. Such phenomenal content. And I couldn't be any more thankful. We don't have a break next week, so we get to continue right into the story. So I'm super excited because this chapter blew me away in every possible way. And I am excited to get into it. So let's do that.
頑張れそう頑張れ諦めないで口笛吹きさ歩き出そうよ Going now
Alright guys, chapter 1008 of One Piece. And bruh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that like Oda didn't keep us like on a leash with this, didn't let it go for too long. Like I'm actually really appreciating how there's been a lot of things that that Oda has been doing that normally I would think he would stretch out, but he's just really seeming to kind of get to the point, especially in these later chapters. I'm just talking about regards with like he could have kept the Oden mystery going for a little bit. He could have kept Luffy out for a little bit. So anyway, I'm going a little bit out of order. So let's start with the first thing. First things first, the Scabbards obviously are enthralled, are super happy their master is back, and for just a few moments, you know, everything seems like sunshine and rainbows, man. These guys are happy. One of the most important people in their life is back. Also, someone powerful enough to help them confront Kaido and put an end to his reign. Like, what's there not to love? Unfortunately, Ashura Doji is not quite convinced. And I'm sorry, I can't help. I would be remiss to mention the fact that, like, I can't help but see the irony in Ashura Doji, the one who was the cynic, the one that was the cynic, the one that wasn't sure like this plan would ever like reach fruition, was the one to, you know, disillusion everyone else. Because, you know, when we first met him, he was disillusioned, and now like he's going around like, nah, that ain't Oden. And I'm very happy he was there. I'm very happy he was able to put two and two together. Everyone was a little bit emotional. For the most part, a majority of the Scabbards, I believe, got, you know, sent into the future. Only a handful, you know, ended up staying on, you know, staying in Wano. Besides the short doji, I believe it might have been Kawamatsu and one other, Denjiro, I think. So yeah, so honestly, I just feel bad for them because, you know, he parries the fake Oden, gets stabbed, and guess what? Turns out to be Can fucking Juro. Who said that shit? I said that shit. Who said that shit? Like, I told you guys before in my other videos, I was like, that nigga is not dead. I was like, the fight was off screen. It happened way too quickly. Dude's a scabbard. It just didn't seem right. It didn't sit well with me. And I'm glad to know that, hey, my thoughts came a reality. So that was really interesting to see. So there goes my Onimaru theory. There goes my Babanuk theory. But once again, I did say, I think it was like my third on the list of priorities, was that it would be Kanjuro using his devil fruit to make a imitation of Oden. Also, this is very important because it shows us just the depth of his ability. Before, we only saw really shitty drawings from him, and that kind of gave us an unfair impression of him. But now that we have seen that, like, okay, he can do really detailed things with his art, I can't wait to see what else he brings to the table next, because he was able to perfectly recreate Oden's mannerisms and all that. Clearly, he doesn't have the exact, the drawing doesn't have anywhere near the same power of Oden, because of the fact that Ashura Doji was able to wound him so easily. Not saying Ashura Doji is weak, it's just that they had fought in the past and it did not go that sweet for him, right? So honestly, you just have to kind of feel for the Scabbards in this moment. Like, they've just been having quite the emotional roller coaster, man. Like, win, loss, defeat, utter, they just completely got wiped by Kaido. And then after, getting their wounds tended to and whatnot, they see Oden, their faith, their will is renewed, restored, and then immediately crushed again at the sad reality that it's the traitor Kanjuro. And so now they have the double whammy of, dang, it wasn't Oden, we lost Oden again somewhat, and dang, it's Kanjuro, we have to fight him again. We even have Kiku apologize because apparently she was the one that put the final blow on Kanjuro and thought she had killed him. But Ashura Doji, he's not upset. He's a real one. He's basically just like, hey man, like, it's hard to kill your friends. Like, I wouldn't, like, if you could kill your friends so easily, like, I would have a problem with you. So I honestly respect that. Ashura Doji is really showing like his character right now, and I respect that. That was such a really cool line that like a sword will dull in the face of like friends or allies or something of that nature. I apologize for not getting the exact quote right. One thing that did perturb me throughout that entire scene was we still do not know who healed them. Earlier, I did say, and I want to touch more on this later, but I did say that it maybe Kanjuro could have healed them, maybe could have been using Oden to bolster them, maybe he had a change of heart. Does not seem to be the case. So I still go back to my original theory of it was Hiyori. Now, a lot of you are like, all right, why is she not there? The two reasons I can think of off the top of my head are, one, first reason being, she explicitly stated, I can't remember what chapter and when she said it, but she said she wasn't ready to face them, wasn't ready to confront them, I think, until, it's all of this is over and they're successful. She couldn't bear to face them. So basically, she healed them up and said, all right, I'll see you guys, like, when this is won, because, like, now is not the time. Like, I don't know if she just didn't want to get herself excited, happy, or blah, 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 but basically, she personally did not want to face him. The second reason is, remember, everyone in the castle can hear this broadcast from the Marys, right? So I'm sure that, even though this rubs me the wrong way because it makes me feel like, okay, so you heard that like there was danger coming and you decided to abandon the Scabbards, but I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and maybe she realized maybe they could handle themselves, maybe she realized there was no point in her sticking around. But long story short, she overheard them saying, hey, there's those dudes are over there, go get them. And she was like, yeah, I did my part, I healed you guys up, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys can handle whatever's around. Honestly, maybe she's still around, maybe she's just kind of staying there to see if they need her. I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head if we've ever really seen any kind of like physical prowess from her. So that's something I'm gonna look into. But I'm wondering if she could have assisted in combat in any way. From what I'm assuming, I just don't really think so. But anyway, moving on. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but like, I just don't feel like the purpose of Kanjuro and someone else who will be coming up is just to be these evil assholes. Like, I feel like Oda is pushing it so hard for us to hate Kanjuro and Orochi. Like, hate them, right? But like, if you think about it, it's really unfair. Because you have to remember that because of the actions of Orochi's, I believe, either father or grandfather, I think grandfather, they were ostracized and persecuted by the entirety of Wano. From the moment he was a little kid, all he has known has been death and murder and people trying to come for his head. I forget who, if Orochi lost his parents the same way, but Kanjuro's parents were murdered in a theater. He basically has a Batman origin story almost. Well, not Batman, actually, Dick Grayson. More so of a Dick Grayson origin story, except he didn't have a Batman to take him in and to brace him. The Joker took him in. And so that's something I can't help but like just put out there. Like, it's not that they chose necessarily evil. They didn't wake up and choose violence. Violence chose them. They like, I don't know about you, but how jaded would you be? How messed up would you be? How angry against your people would you be if since you were born, they tried to kill you and they did kill your family? And then Orochi comes along and says, hey, I'm fam, I'm blood. Those people that killed your parents, I took care of them. I got you. I'm going to be the Shogun. And basically, as my position as Shogun, I'm going to take care of us. We're going to be rich. We're going to be living it up like we deserve to. And on top of that, when it's all said and done, I will bring this country to its knees. That sounds appealing to me. Let's be real. Let's be real. We have a whole dude named Itachi who went and massacred his like entire village. So like, yeah, man, like, you can be upset as you want. I'm not excusing them. I'm just saying that there's, rationality to why they're doing what they're doing, as well as the fact that I think Oda plans to, I don't know if it's for both of them or one or the other, but I do think Oda plans to have some kind of, moment of reconciliation for them. Maybe Kaido does something so extreme. Maybe he's about to drop the island down, killing many. Maybe like, they get talk no jutsu'd by the scabbards. Like maybe Kanjuro and the scabbards reminisce about the adventures they had with Oden and how kind-spirited Oden is and the times Oden has saved them, and how like despite being a Kozuki, Oden has always treated him as a Nakama. So that's something I would be interested in exploring. So anyway, moving on, we are reintroduced to Jack. Jack is wounded. He has found the scabbards. He was warned. He warned Black Maria not to go, but he has decided for a fight. And this is probably my single greatest favorite interaction in this entire chapter, bro. In this entire chapter. Basically, my homie Inu tells the squad, hey, get out of here. I got this. Your opponent is me. Jack's smartass says, I don't know, man. I don't see no moon out. Basically insinuating that y'all only got the jump on me because y'all went full Sulong form. You don't have that crutch right now. But bro, Inu doesn't doesn't hesitate. Instant clap back is like, I don't see no poison gas, bitch. Yeah, remember, don't act like I didn't forget that. That whole time we fought, two things were going on. One, I wasn't even really trying to fight you. I was just trying to protect Raizo. That's the first thing. Let's get that straight. The second thing, oh my God, yo, is that you had poison gas, fam. You cheated, fam. Don't act all high and mighty. Don't act all high and mighty when the only time you ever really faced me was when you had me at a handicap. So let's not even play these games. And oh, bro, right after reading that part, I was like, bro, that was the most vicious, savage shade I have ever seen. I need like, Inuarashi needs the whole sunglasses, the whole nine, man. He needs the whole nine. That was phenomenal, spectacular in every sense of the way. Every sense of the way. I was super ecstatic. That is a moment that I will never forget. I will never forget. So going on next, I want to talk about the interaction with Momo. So they all know Momo's in danger. They all know that Kanjuro's goal is to kill. By the way, real quick to go back to Kanjuro real quick. Oh wait, what was I about to say? Let me continue what I was talking about, and hopefully it'll come back to me. But Kanjuro's basically like, I want to stab the heart of the heart of the Kazuki clan, aka Momonosuke, to which they are immediately like, oh my god, Momo's in danger. And now I do remember what I was going to say about Kanjuro. He makes it very clear that like he's not planning on getting out of this alive. It seems that he's been mortally or grievously wounded, and that this is more or less his last stand, right? And so I really do think that like on your deathbed and stuff, you do have a time to like reanalyze and just kind of like rethink things. And I think that's going to play an important fact, because like it seems like no matter what, he's going to die. There might be a chance, maybe someone like Chopper could help him out. Choppers, it's basically like in war where the medic doesn't care if you're an enemy or an ally. Their job is to heal you all the less. Yeah, you'll become a prisoner of war after, but they don't care about that. Their job is saving as many lives as they can. So maybe he'll help. Maybe he'll help Kanjuro and save him. Maybe he won't. But yeah, so we're talking about that. Yamato is questioning Momo about his dragon form and whatnot, and they ask about Luffy, and something very interesting happens. I think most people might brush over this, but I couldn't help but like be really interested in it. And he's like, Luffy's exhausted, but still is like, tenacious as ever, spirit still unbroken and ready to go. And immediately Shinobu's like, wait, how do you know that? And I was like, wait, yeah, how does he know that? Luffy's all the way on the roof. He's all the way down there with you. He hasn't seen Luffy. And I think this just goes back to being able to hear the voice of all things. And for some particular reason, Momo is super special in that regard, because we know that Roger can hear the voice of all things, and we know that Luffy can hear the voice of all things. And I'm not sure if there's anyone else we've seen, but it's been heavily like kind of stated and kind of alluded to, I mean, that Momo's is slightly special in some form or way. And I think that basically being able to hear the voice of all things has something to do with being able to hear the voice of Haki. From what we were told, it seems that every living being has Haki. Every living being has Haki. And so it stands to reason that perhaps that hearing the voice of all things is simply being able to decipher and interpret the language of Haki. I don't know. I might be pulling shit out my ass. I'm just spitballing here. But so it just seems that maybe that's how he was able to tell Luffy was okay. He was able to sense Luffy's Haki and tell, oh, while it is exhausted, his willpower, his tenacity is all still there, right? So that was really cool. Oh, sorry about that. Anyway, moving on. Next thing that I called, because there was no way he was dead. So anticlimactically, so unresolved, had so much to do. My boy, not really, Orochi is back, y'all. He never left.
I told y'all niggas. Y'all thought I was playing, but I told y'all niggas he coming home today.
So it made sense to me. He had, this super mythical rare Zoan. We never really got to see its abilities. I was just like, Oda could not do us like that. In reviewing it now, I think it's the perfect devil fruit for a weakling in a position of power, right? Typically heads of state are always, susceptible to, assassinations and whatnot. And so to have a devil fruit ability that allows you to, come back or circumvent death is really important. I said earlier, I got really strong, heavy Hydra vibes. So it's good to see him. Like, we see him immediately. We see his, I think the head of the ninjas behind him killing someone else. Does that mean he was in on it, that he knew he wasn't dead the entire time? I'm excited for next chapter where we're going to delve deeper into it a little bit more. But yeah, I basically how I feel about Orochi being back can be summed down to this. Anyway, so cool scene. Now to finish off the last part of the chapter, we are returned back to the roof where the supernovas a fraction of the supernovas are fighting against Big Mom and Kaido and realizing what an undertaking it is. I also think it's super interesting. You can see on, I believe, Kid's right arm, he has a harpoon, and I found that to be super interesting. And I'm thinking maybe this is Oda once again with the symbolism on his end. Maybe it's his way of basically saying, this is their big whale. And it's kind of ironic because, there was a Moby Dick. There was a Moby Dick with, that was Whitebeard's ship. But, this is their big whale. I would more so consider Kaido that big whale. And, this is a tremendous undertaking for them because, these guys want to be king of the pirates. And this is a huge stepping stone for them if they can dethrone Kaido and Big Mom, who are pretty much, shortlist front runners for that position. So I don't know if I'm just overlooking too much into it with the harpoon, but I just thought that was really interesting. But nothing is more interesting than my boy Luffy. The reason that he's such a great character, the reason that he always brings a smile to my face, the reason that the plot even exists, because of how crazy this dude is. You just see him immediately wake up, take a breath, doesn't even skip a beat, and pops off. He's a little bit too, a little bit too enthusiastic. It looks like he kind of just launches himself into like rocks. Looks like he's like Momo said, he's exhausted, so maybe he doesn't quite have his bearings under him. But that was hilarious. And so everyone else is just trying to strategize, like, how do we fight them? Luffy's like, they're still human. We can still fight them. And the two funniest parts where one dude's like, how can you still consider them human? And at this point, it makes a lot of sense. Like, yeah, they're fighting monsters, but all of them, each in their own right, are monsters. So, so I thought that was really interesting. And on top of that, Zoro's just Luffy's basically he's like, well, doing nothing, being down on ourselves isn't helping. And Zoro's like, but running into a fight we can't win isn't helping either. So chill. He was like, let's help us strategize, which was honestly stupid. Luffy is not a strategist. That is not his forte. That is not what he is about. So for you to, that's like me telling you to not get lost. Come on, bro, be reasonable here. But I think, I forget if it's Kid or Law or the combination of both, but they both decide that, hey, we can't fight these guys as a unit. They are way too powerful. They know each other too well. They cover each other's flaws. It's just too difficult. We had to split up. So this is going to be really, really interesting. I can't wait to see how they split it up. Part of me wants to, since the beginning of this fight, I've been really confused where exactly, who exactly Luffy would focus on, because he has his whole beef with Big Ma from Fishman Island. He does it's this whole chapter and all of Whole Cake. It kind of seemed like he forgot about that, but he had major beef with Big Mom. But now it just seems all his entire focus is on Kaido. And maybe that's just because, they're on Wano, they're on his home turf and all that stuff. So if I had to split it up, I would say that in my opinion, it seems that it would go Kaido versus Luffy. Luffy and Zoro are definitely going to be on the team. Just because, once again, Luffy's one of the few people able to hurt Kaido. Once again, we have to see Zoro put a grievous wound on Kaido using Enma. I just don't really know who else. Actually, here's what I think will happen. I think it'll be Luffy and Zoro versus Kaido, because it makes the most sense. They have attacks that can injure and harm him. And then I think it'll be Kid and Killer versus Big Mom. They have the versatility to deal with her. Maybe he'll eventually use the Faraday cage I was talking about to kind of disperse her lightning. Um, I just think they would have a lot easier time fighting her. And then I think what's going to happen is Law is going to play some kind of flex support role where he just is either going to be assisting in separating them, maybe coming in and trying to hit some assassination moves every blue moon, covering them and teleporting them out if they're about to take, a devastating attack. Maybe switching them back and forth. Maybe it won't be as simple as Luffy and Zoro versus Kaido and Kid and Killer versus maybe they keep it far apart and swap out, blah 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 blah, something like that. But if I had to break it down, that's pretty much the way I would break it down. So anyway, last thoughts. You can tell me if you agree with me. You can tell me if I'm completely way off base, but I really, really do not like Kaido's hybrid form. I don't know why. I just feel like his base human form is more intimidating. I do like the tail. The tail, but like, I don't know. I just don't. I'm not a fan of the way the scales are drawn. There seems to be a lot going on with his head. He's got the horns, but then he has like the weird, I guess, little like fish, little like antenna or whatever. I don't know. It just doesn't command like, I know when I like, there's certain panels you look at a villain and their power form, you're like, oh my god, like I'm like, I feel like I can feel the pressure, I can feel the killing intent, and I just like, it wasn't as intimidating to me as his regular form. It wasn't as intimidating to me as the panel on, I believe, 101. It was either 101 or 102. Sorry, not 101, 1001 or 1002, where it's both Big Mom and then Kaido, but in dragon form. But obviously, dragon is, really intimidating. But like, I don't know, he's a lot smaller than I anticipated. But then again, he's next to Big Mom and he's still bigger than her. So like, he's still big, but I still thought like he would be like still a little bit bigger. I don't know why. I don't know what specifically, like I can't put something on it. Just something rubs me the wrong way. I'm not the biggest fan. Maybe my mind will change as we see him do some more stuff, but not the biggest fan of it. That's not a big deal. That doesn't mean anything. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my personal taste. I just, it didn't command the respect I think it deserved personally. So yeah, man, all in all, great chapter, phenomenal chapter. I can't wait for the next chapter. I really don't think Oda is going to leave us hanging. As we know, we do have this kind of looming deadline over our heads of like, a few more years for One Piece. So I think he's going to go straight into the story, which appears to be what he wants to do. Next chapter, I think we're just going to get so much more. I can't wait to see how they split up the teams. I really want to know more about Momonosuke and his abilities. I really want to see Yamato get a fight. Like, I really need to see what she was going to transform into when she was fighting Sasaki. I wonder what Hiyori is doing right now. I wonder what Onimaru is doing right now. Part of me thinks that he's like outside somewhere, possibly gathering a crew, because remember, all he's been doing for the last several years is amassing a huge stockpile arsenal of weaponry. So that's coming up. I want to get back to all the Straw Hat fights. So there's just a lot going on. I want to know what Kaido's plan is for the island he's levitating. Yeah, there's just so, I want to get back to like, bruh, there's an insane amount of stuff going on, and that's just all, and the stuff I'm talking about right now is all surface level. It's all fights or whatever. I still want to know more about the poneglyphs. I still want to know more about the voice of all things. I still want to know more about like why Wano was considered the city of gold. Like, there's just, it's incredible how well Oda has been able to set up these building blocks, and I just respect him so much for mangaka. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you for tuning in. I say this all the time, but I really do appreciate each and every one of you that watch my videos. I really love, when it comes to One Piece, I really love making these videos. Send me some messages and comments, and let's talk about what do you think is gonna happen. But yeah, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I really would. Let's start small goals. I want to, start 100, then go to 500, then go to 1,000. I need to work on my social media presence a lot more. But yeah, man, thank you for tuning into Otaku Talk. This has been your host, OD. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Or for my, or for my reviews of Dr. Stone and My Hero. Take care.